Hello and welcome to Game 2 of the ZOTAC number 259 finals between eMaL, spawning as the blue orc in the top, versus Rain, spawning as the dark green or undead in the bottom. So this time we're seeing a little bit different, it looks like. We do see the altar, the crypt, and the ziggurat. It's not a standard fiend build here. A little bit different. Could be a couple of different ways he goes with that. He can go into ghouls, he can go into fiends as well. Both are very viable ways to play. You can also do something like APM strategy or something. If you don't know what APM strategy is, it is where you get very heavy air army late game as undead, and you upgrade either the attack or the defense, depending on the metagame at the time. Originally, it was upgrading all of your defense stats, so you'd have very high armor and on your heavy air units, and the orc would go bats to counter it, but it was more cost efficient for the undead to play like that because he wouldn't lose his units as much, given that he had death coil and he could keep units alive when the bats would explode. So it used to be a popular strategy. It didn't last. It wasn't very popular in the pro scene for a very long time, but every now and then we do see it coming back and making a little bit of resurgence here and there. It happens once in a while, and it's a nice strategy. And eventually what happened was it went from the orc using bats to the orc using a tier 3 blade master with the lightning orb, and using had berserkers as well as like spirit link, depending on if the undead went destroyers with it or not, because you can do all sorts of different, there's lots of variations in it. But and at that point the undead started having to go, instead of doing armor upgrades, they started doing attack upgrades, and then it kind of fell out of fashion and blah blah blah. So we do see this is going to be in fact a fiend build, kind of a late fiend build. We do have the 3 goals, and we're going to have a goal on the map, which is going to allow him to have some nice scouting information, which is something that you don't really get as much with an Acolyte. You do get that with an Acolyte Scout, but with the Ghoul Scout you have much bigger vision, a much higher vision range, as well as a much faster unit who has a lot more life and can do a little bit more in battles and such things. So it's nice to have this unit out, and it looks like, in fact, what's going to maybe even happen, he might go ahead and, where did he go? Here he is. He might decide to creep off this health fountain, which he can do, which is something that the undeads like to do here. It looks like he accidentally aggroed this, and I don't think he intended to do that. I think what he meant to do is just walk up this way, and in fact, this looks like what he's going to do. You can get, I believe, an item from right here, from this Null Warden. You can also just creep out the entire bottom, and it's very easy experience, and it's pretty risk-free because you're not going to take a lot of damage. Who it is actually, though, unfortunately for Rain, we do see eMaL going straight onto these Acolytes. This is not good for Rain whatsoever, because he's going to already lose one Acolyte. He does not have that Nubian tower up. He loses yet another Acolyte. This is a pretty big deal. When you're starting to lose Acolytes like this, it's very difficult to come back from this. And as you can see, Sechi, a very good undead player as well in the obs, who said GG jokingly. But this is a very big setback for Rain, so we'll see how he deals with it. He does go ahead and trying to get this Nerub tower up, and yet another Acolyte even goes down. And here we see this one. Let's see if it gets microed away just in time, and it does in fact get microed away just fine. And there isn't really a lot he can do. He can't really throw down the ziggurat just yet to protect it, because the Blade Master can sit there and just kill it and cancel it, no problem. Indeed, it is very sad. It's unfortunate when that happens, but you know, it's just one of those things. And here we do see Rain able to creep this out. It looks like he might have lost his ghoul. I'm not sure where it went, and he took quite a bit of damage on his Death Knight, which is unfortunate. I'm guessing he was probably putting up this ziggurat when the Blade Master came in and maybe did something there. I'm not sure, or maybe, I'm not really entirely sure. Maybe he could come in through this way. Maybe one of the trees got chopped down or something. It looks like that might have happened. I don't really know. I didn't quite catch it, but sorry about that. So here we do see, coming back over here, we can see that this is almost level 2 Death Knight. Right in here, you may be able to steal this Null Brute, and he can do that with just a couple more swings from that skeleton and then a coil, and then he will go ahead and hit level 2. So it's a nice little time to hit level 2, and it's good information to see that there are 3 grunts on the field, and knowing where they are at, we do see that the orc is almost tier 2, and here is the Blade Master level 1. So the undead does have an experience advantage. However, of course, we do have the orc pegged for the pegged for the tech and economy advantage, really, after that, all of what he did to the undead's base right there. It's going to be very difficult to recover from that. Really, it will be. Simply because, on top of the fact that Orc really has a good time at tier 2 and tier 3 against undead for map control, if the undead does not have a lot going on, like a good army or good hero levels or something. It can be very difficult for the undead to actually get around and do anything on the map if the orc decides to play the contain game. And there's some times where, you know, the undead will be doing just fine. We do see the skeleton scouts actually going ahead and coming into the orc space just to get some scouting off, get as much information as he can, maybe do some harass even. It's a light amount of harass, but it is harass indeed whenever skeletons come in here, and they can cause peons to have to go into the burrow, or they can even sometimes occasionally pick off units. Here we see the Blade Master running right back into this base, knowing that this is open right here. This he can just walk right in through here. He's going to keep abusing that until it gets closed. And here we do see the ziggurat going down. And that ziggurat will be enough to keep the Blade Master from doing much, but the Blade Master does have a staff of teleportation, so he's going to go ahead and wreak havoc in this base while he can, and he's going to TP out just like this, taking a fair amount of damage, but really not a lot he can do. And one of the observers' comments you might notice is, did Rain pick this map? And of course he didn't, because this is a terrible map for undead against Orc, because there's so many good claw item drops that you can have, and there's 2 health fountains. Really a lot of benefit for Orc on this map. It's definitely very much a difficult map to play against Orc on as undead. So we do see, unfortunately, the score is in the chat comments. Don't read it. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but you know, whatever, it happens. So basically, effectively, you know, that's the score. Whatever. So we see these skeletons are running into this base. Hopefully you're watching this sequentially at any rate, because if you're not, I would recommend you watch it sequentially. It's a good thing to watch sequentially. That way absolutely no spoilers happen. The game numbers are, and of course the titles of these videos. So, and there's going to be annotations up here and up here, so you can go back and forth between all the game series, all the games in the series. And of course you can also disable annotations if you don't want to see those, but or even just click little X's on them. But either way, whatever you want to do, you have a lot of options. I feel like a lot of options, and options are good. We do see this Tauren Chieftain. He's going to head and creeping out his natural gold mine, and we're going to see another item drop right here. This can be a very nice claw item right here, I think. Yeah, it can be a +6, and there was another item that dropped and gave him the Purebe of Vitality. I'm not necessarily sure how to pronounce that first word right there, the P-E-R-I-A-P-T. I'm not sure, but either way, it can give you a +6 or +9 claw drop, and that can happen on both of these gold mines right here and that one that I just pointed to on the minimap. So I'll just, oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry, I meant to follow this guy. But anyway, we do see a lot of damage going off onto this Death Knight, almost dying, however, picking up a very nice health potion just in the nick of time. We do have 2 raiders coming in here. A little bit of harass going off onto the Blade Master as he windwalks and gets out, but he is now, he doesn't have enough mana really to do on anything. If he tries to take this fight now, he'd probably lose his Blade Master, because this Lich is out, but I'm not entirely sure on that. But either way, we will see that he's probably not going to be too much ballsier to go back into this base without enough mana to get out. It's definitely a scary thing to do. So here we do see that, let's see, we do see, yeah, sorry, losing my train of thought here. We do have the Lich at level 1 and the Death Knight at level 2, almost level 3. And here we do see eMaL coming in here. We do see one of these creeps being pulled. Is this fiend going to get ensnared? It's going to get almost ensnared. It does go ahead and burrow. There's no dust for the orc, so that fiend is just fine right now. We do see a lot of damage going off onto the Blade Master, and this is a time where the undead felt safe to go ahead and pull his pull back his fiend. Here we do see, over here we can see that there's actually double watchtowers going up. This harass has bothered eMaL enough that he's actually going to go ahead and throw down 2 watchtowers to deal with these skeletons coming in. And I'm not really sure why he would throw down 2, but he is going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see, a lot of his peons are very injured, but they're really not like dying, I don't think. I'm not sure if any of them have died, in fact. But either way, here we do see that contain I was talking about from the orc, and here we can see yet another nice burrow dodge. But this time the orc did bring a dust, and he does go ahead and stop to go ahead and stun the undead heroes, and he does go ahead and coil the fiend, but unfortunately it was not enough, and he did go ahead and die. Yet another stomp going off on the Death Knight there, so unfortunately he won't be able to chase down that raider, and I'm not sure he would have either way, but that's what he chose to do. And we do see over here the eMaL is throwing up an expansion, and these 2 watchtowers are now done. So unfortunately for the undead, he is kind of behind right now. Not really in the greatest position here to keep taking these fights, but he is doing what he can do, and he is very, very close to level 3 here. He will go ahead and looks like he's going to get level 3 on his Death Knight. In fact, he does. Picks up a nice Claws of Attack +6, so that's nice. Just going to go ahead and pass it over to his Lich, who can always use these claws. As you can see, +15 damage. because he gets plus 12 from the claws, plus 3 from the mantle. So that's very nice to have. Here we can see that Rain has gone ahead and scouted eMaL's expansion. So eMaL's expansion is now a priority target, and here we do see that it looks like he's going to probably go over there and try to cancel it. Canceling it would be very good. If you can get that down, that would be really nice, simply because of the fact that the expansion that he has, if that expansion goes up and the Urgh has map control, it pretty much is a good game for Rain, and he won't have any chance to come back. But as you can see, Rain has done pretty well to go ahead and not really be too screwed over from the containment. The Urgh didn't really get to do a lot with his contain, and now eMaL Rain is going to go ahead and cancel this expansion, which is pretty good. And on top of that, he's also caused the Urgh to waste plenty of resources while burrowing up and throwing down two watchtowers. So we might even see him come in here and go for some burrows or some peons. He does have the ability to TP out if he needs to do that, and the Urgh is not close enough really to do too much to catch him. And I'm not sure if he has a... I can't really tell. I can't click on the blade master. There we go. He does not even have a teleport scroll, and he'll have to sell an item to go ahead and pick up the item that just dropped. And then if you wanted to, in fact, he's going to go ahead and do that as well, and go ahead and grab a nice potion of invulnerability, which is 15 seconds of invulnerability. It's a big deal. There's no way Rain could fight that, but he could go ahead and TP out. He did go ahead and kill a shop. So if he goes ahead, maybe tries to nuke down a raider and then TP out, maybe he's going to just go ahead and TP out anyway. Hopefully he won't lose the statue, but he might lose the statue. The statue lives, so that's not too bad. And we do see that, of course, Rain doing not too horrible right here. He does go ahead, and he is tier 3 now. He's not really where he wants to be, but he is going ahead and getting out these destroyers. Now again, as you can tell, he is of course under leveled. That is in fact the case. We're going to see a level 4 Blade Master here perhaps, as well as a Tauren Chieftain on his way to level 4, and the Lich is only level 1 and the Death Knight's only level 3. So it's not really the ideal position for Rain here. I have seen people be able to defend this sort of position that Rain has got himself into, but it's not a good position to be in under any circumstances. So we're going to see what happens here. We do see, in fact, like I said, the level 4 Blade Master, who just got an agility tome, which puts him up to 33 agility right now. A lot of damage right there and a lot of armor. And that's really not what he wants to be fighting against, but these are some decent items, actually. As you can see, he's got a nice Gloves of Attack, Slippers of Agility, and of course, this is a big deal right here, the Potion of Invulnerability, 15 seconds long invulnerability. That is a lot. That's a really big deal, and if we look over here, we can see that the eMaL's Tauren Chieftain has some nice items as well. Triple Circlet, which gives him a bunch of mana. 6 intelligence, of course, that gives you 15 mana for each thing, as you can see right there, and 7 seconds invulnerability, which is what you expect, as well as a speed scroll and a greater healing potion. These are really nice items because they allow eMaL's heroes to stay alive and to stay in these fights, and that's really the big deal when you don't have a Shadow Hunter, is that you can't keep your heroes alive very easily, and you have to really be reliant on items. And we do see a lot of damage going off onto this Lich right off the bat. We do see that the Blade Master taking immediate focus, and of course, unfortunately, Rain does not have a third hero in this fight, so he doesn't have a silence or anything like that. The Lich taking quite a bit of damage. He is surrounded now, and the Death Knight has went ahead and started to TP. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The Lich does go down, and unfortunate for Rain indeed, because at this point, the Urgh is in a very good position. He did have to blow a 15-second invul pot, which is not something that you really want to do in a little skirmish like that when your opponent is TPing away. But here we do see Rain actually coming back in here. He's going to go ahead. Could he kill the Blade Master? He could kill the Blade Master. Unfortunately, he ran away. Did not see the Blade Master was actually in such a precarious position. He almost got it, but unfortunately, he just did not manage to pick it up. That's unfortunate. In fact, he's going to go over here and heal himself up. He's going to go ahead and creep out this level 6 Red Drake as well. So a really nice level advantage going on for the Urgh, and able to just barely stay alive with that Blade Master. Would have been something that would have been really good for Rain to have picked that off, but it's just one of those things. Sometimes it's hard to see these things. So what it is, but here we do see that the undead is going up here and creeping out this red. So that's what you want to see, is him getting experience. So we do see this Lich is back out, and he has plus 20 damage. It's just so much damage with this orb as well. Got the 15 from those and then 5 from the orb. So that's a lot of damage on the Lich, just from auto attack damage. And of course with the orb it does do a whole lot of damage, you know, negative, I believe, 5 armor? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Doesn't actually tell on the tooltip. That's interesting. But you can see it's -5, which is what I thought it was, -5. I think there's a custom game I play where it's -3, so sometimes I get a little confused. But anyway, This is in fact what we're seeing going on right here, and we do see that actually this was crept out, and he got a crystal ball, which allowed him to reveal as what this glowing spinning thing is. It is a crystal ball. It is the same skill as the Farseer's Farsight at level 1, and allowed him to see just that right there, which meant he knows that Rain has gone ahead and creeped that out, and he just saw it, and he knows that he's going to be running away, and he's trying to intercept him, and Rain is thinking, well, what do I do? Where do I go? I don't know if I should really run this way. He started to run that way. He said, you know what? He might be catching me right there. I'm going to run this way. He does go ahead and burrow a fiend. I'm not really sure why he burrowed that fiend, but here we do see him running towards the Orc's base. I guess this is just a scout, but he really can't take a fight now. I guess he can't take a fight anyway. He's going to go ahead and coil down some peons, do what he can do. He might have to be forced to TP out here. I'm not sure, but that he's going to maybe be able to do a little bit to this Blade Master. He might lose the statue or be forced to go ahead and turn it into a destroyer. And we do see that when that Blade Master taking quite a bit of damage, however, he does go ahead and pop his greater healing potion that was originally on the Tauren Chieftain, and the TP comes out with the Lich being able to TP away at a low amount of life. We do see that there is a Cripplord in play, so that is his third hero. You do want a third hero. This provides a nice line stun. It stuns in a line, so imagine the Cripplord was right here and he was facing out this way, and this would be the area of effect basically of his stun. It's about that long. It's maybe about this long in fact, but and it's very nice to have in something that's good against having no SH because, or no Shadow Hunter, because again, it's very hard to keep your heroes alive without items, so having that stun is definitely good to prevent, you know, potion usage or whatever. And here we do see a tiny Great Hall being thrown down, which is very cost efficient for the Orc. Very, very fast to get this expansion up and running. And with these 5 peons, there are 75, so it's going to take just about 1,000 gold mine in order to make this pay off, but that'll happen quite quickly. As you can see, almost immediately the units get to start mining out the gold, so it's definitely a very good investment whenever you are tier 3 and you're able to throw down a tiny Great Hall. It's definitely worthwhile. Here we can see that the Orc is just running around right here. We do see a Skeleton Warrior being ensnared and picked off, in fact, and we do see, of course, those Wind Riders are back out, and so this is going to be this is a pretty big Orc army. We might see this being one of the last fights in the game. If this army goes down, then we can see the Rain will probably go ahead and be able to pick off that expansion, which would put him down a little bit, or maybe even break him even. I'm not sure, but here we do see that this isn't looking good for Rain right here. This is not looking good at all. We can see that Rain is at 54 food. If we quickly look over here, we can see that eMaL is at 73 food, in fact. So a pretty big difference here, as well as the fact that eMaL has a level advantage. The only thing going for Rain right now is he has a third hero, and eMaL does not, but it is a level 1 hero, so all it's going to be good for really is that 1 or 2 stuns that it's going to be able to get off, and I think it can only get 1 stun off before it's because it only has 210 life or mana at level 1, so we'll see. Here we do see a little bit more stuff going down, a little more creeps, a little bit of gold you can get from the creeps, just doing whatever he wants, getting some experience, and just buying time for more units to come out. I think he wants to be at 80 food before he really assaults an undead base. We can see a Spirit Lodge is being thrown down as well, and a burrow is over here. Of course, this is just because of skeletons coming here to harass us. He needs to be able to put his peons into the burrow and keep them alive so they won't go down, as well as the fact that it's helpful to have it to do some damage to kill these skeletons in case, you know, a bunch of them come in at once or something. Here we do see the skeleton not going to be able to do too much here because its time is going to run out, but if that burrow is up, that skeleton would be even less important. So here we do see that I gotta stop saying I really do. Sorry, but we do see what's going to be a fight right here is what it looks like. Immediately we do see that the very nice Cripplord stun right there. It did take 100 mana, so it looks like it can get 2 stuns off at level 1, taking a little bit of damage right there. We do see that Destroyer running away, but it's taking a lot of damage. Kodo Beast eating a Fiend. The Lich is very low on life. The Blade Master forced to go ahead and use an Invoke Potion. The Lich is ensnared, being attacked by the Blade Master. The Lich goes ahead and uses Frost Armor on herself, pushes the Blade Master away. But this fight is definitely going in favor of the Orc. As you can see, the Cripplord goes down, And we do have the Tauren Chieftain taking not really enough damage to push him away either. So the Orc unit's really just overwhelming the undead at this point. Rain is running away. The Lich goes down. He tried to cool the Lich and it just did not get there, and just in time. And GG is called. So good game, and unfortunate for Rain that he did happen to get so overwhelmed by the Orc in this fight. Again, really from the start of the game all the way to the end of the game, really eMaL just kind of had the advantage and the whole point throughout the entire fight. That whole fight, and as well as the fact just throughout every fight basically that they took, eMaL was at the advantage. So that is unfortunate for Rain, but he can still win this game. He can still win the series. This is the finals. He needs to win 3 games, so he'll have to win the next 3 in a row in order to win. So we'll see if that happens. And if you want to find out, well, click right here, because this is going to take you to game 3. There's going to be an annotation right here. And if there's actually not an annotation here, then that actually means that the game hasn't been uploaded. But it will be uploaded very shortly. So I will see you in game 3, hopefully.